Hi there guys, hope you're well. I have stumbled upon an interesting article here that gets you thinking. Well, hopefully it does anyway, that's the intention of it. With regard to everything that's happening with the Mandela effect at the moment. This video is aimed more towards, air quote, debunkers. As I say, I've watched many a debunk video. I've watched many people break it down analytically and logically, which is how my mind usually thinks. But to be honest, no video has compelled me, no video has disputed what I believe is real. So it got me thinking, because I was looking at how a lot of these people were conducting their experiments, I guess is what you'd call it, or they were conducting their debunks. And a lot of them were using the internet and Google in particular, which led me to the mode of thought is the internet, Google in particular, changing the way that we think and that we learn? So I did a little bit of searching on there and found this article that was posted, I think, back in 2011. But I found it pretty interesting, and I just, again, it's not got conclusive answers in here, but after you've heard this article, maybe it will make you think differently as well about how you conduct yourselves on a daily basis, or how you're searching for information, I guess. Because I was reading a book last night, and I thought, how many people nowadays actually read a paper book? I mean, I'm 29 years old. I'm not sort of 60 or anything like that. So I understand that people have Kindles and maybe don't read at all nowadays. Maybe just rely on things like YouTube for all their information. But yeah, I just found it pretty interesting. So I'll get on with the article. I'll chime in if there's anywhere that I feel necessary to chime in. And yeah, let me know what you think. So study, does Google change the way that we think? Do search engines change the way we remember information? Again, so just with that bit there are many people that are trying to debunk the Mandela effect by saying, oh, I Googled this and I Googled that and I checked YouTube for this and I checked YouTube for that. Straight away, with my investigative hat on, these things are run on algorithms. Someone programs these algorithms, therefore they are man-made. So, yeah, make of that what you will. That's just my thought on it. So, according to a recent study out of Columbia University, the rise of internet search engines like Google has changed the way our brains remember information. So, is Google changing the way we think? Well, when you don't know the answer to a question, what is the first thing that you do? The study argues that instead of working to retain and recall information, we simply Google it. So I find that very interesting, with, in particular, again, don't want to chime on about it too much, but with regard to what's happening with the Mandela effect, because there's many people that will know something instinctively, but then they'll Google it. So, for example, a recent example, I asked my mum, I said, and I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house. And then I left that end bit blank, and then she said, down. Then I said, yes, that's how I remember it as well, but it's no longer that. It's now in, blow your house in, which I've personally never ever heard before. But then she started to doubt herself. So then she would more than likely check on Google to see what Google says about it. And if Google says that it is now in, which again, that could be easily manipulated via programming the algorithms to say that, or even showing search pages in a certain way, whether it's by however Google deems the truest, the most accurate, however you want to say it, Google would then sway someone's decision, for example, even though instinctively they know that it said down. So that's just my little chime in for that bit there. So experts call this transactive memory, where you remember where to go to get this information, or get the information, just not the information itself. This process has been around for ages, However, search engines have made it a whole lot easier. So, instead of going to our friends and family for this information, we turn to the web. The internet, when you think about it, is people putting content online. And so what it's doing is allowing us to have access to much more external memory. Our network of people is just vastly expanded, said Betsy Sparrow, assistant professor of psychology at Columbia. Oh, it's gone completely off my screen there. Where did that go? Oh no, but it just vastly expanded, said Betsy. Oh, this is going absolutely haywire. Hopefully you can see this. My internet connection has been a little bit dodgy. I've got an engineer actually coming out today, so hopefully he'll be able to sort it out. Where has that gone now? Said Betsy, assistant professor of psychology at Columbia University and lead author of the study. Our brains rely on the internet for memory in much the same way they rely on the memory of a friend, family, or co-workers. Less known information than unknown where the information can be found. In the paper titled Google Effects on Memory, Consequences of Having Information at Our Fingertips, the researchers describe a set of 4 experiments that were conducted to test how people remembered information if it was stored somewhere accessible, i.e. the internet. In each case, people remembered less things if they thought the information was stored somewhere versus if they believed it was not. Breaking it down, the more we believe that the information is not easily accessible online, the more we're likely to remember it. So I guess that would be things such as your phone numbers or your PIN codes for your bank cards and things like that. So you're more likely to remember those because you know it's not going to be stored all over the internet. Sparrow stopped short of harkening back to the age-old debate, is the internet making us more stupid? I think to a certain degree, yes, in the sense that we purely believe whatever Google says. I myself have fallen victim to this before as well. So you ask Google a question and you just expect it to give you the right answer. However, you've always got to bear in mind that someone somewhere has programmed the algorithm to give you that answer. So ultimately, Google is, air quote, God in that sense. Any Christians on here, don't kill me for saying that. I don't mean it in a derogative way. When I say that, I mean it in Google is the hive mind. Google is the answer, I guess. I don't see it as that, but I think it's generally used in that sense. So she implies that rather than becoming less intelligent as a result of the internet and search engines, we are becoming more sophisticated at finding information. Furthermore, Sparrow adds, the stuff that we're experts in, that we're the source for other people, is stuff I think we'll always remember, regardless of whether it's online or not. What are your thoughts? Do you think that you retain less information when you know you can Google it? Share your comments below. So yeah, that kind of goes out to you guys there, I guess. So what are your thoughts on it, in particular with this Mandela effect that's going on? I really hate that term. I think we've got to start changing that to the quantum effect or something else, because I think it almost loses credibility when you say the Mandela effect now, because it's almost one of those terms, again, like the Illuminati, where people know what it is, but it's almost become so mainstream now that it almost loses its scientific physics element behind it, I think, and now it just sounds more like a catchphrase. But again, let me know what you think on that as well, guys. But yeah, I just thought this was an interesting article. Hopefully, maybe me looking at this today will maybe make someone else want to look into this as well. Maybe find something that I haven't found yet. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. Thanks a lot for your time. Cheers. Bye.